Ladies and gentlemen, imagine two emperors ruling two vast empires on opposite sides of ancient Asia, both born from chaos of endless war. Both face the same burning question: how do you bind together millions of people who speak different tongues, worship different gods, and carry different memories? Their answers would shape continents for millennia. And today, more than 2200 years later, their choices still echo in every nation struggling to hold itself together. One was Qin Shi Huang of China. He looked at a land fractured by the warring states and declared, "Difference is the enemy." Unity, he believed, demanded absolute uniformity. He crushed the old feudal lords, swept away regional identities, and built a single iron machine of empire. Laws were standardized, weights and measures made identical. Even the width of cart axles fixed so no one could stray away from the imperial road. A single script replaced 100 local writings. Legalism became his gospel. Humans are selfish, he said. So rule them with fear, with harsh punishment, with total control. Books were burned. Scholars who dared remember the past were burnt alive, and buried alive too. The Great Wall rose not just to keep enemies out, but to keep his own people in line. Even in death, his terracotta army stood guard, silent symbols of eternal surveillance. Yet within years of his passing, his dynasty collapsed. Fear can build an empire, but it cannot command the human heart. When the terror lifted, rebellion followed. Conformity, it turned out, was a brittle glue. Now turn your eyes to Ashoka of India. He too began as a conqueror. The slaughter at Kalinga left rivers of blood and mountains of sorrow. But instead of doubling down on power, Ashoka did something revolutionary. He looked at the suffering he had caused and let it break him open. He did not erase the memory. He engraved it in stone for all to see. From that pain was born a new vision of rule. He chose Dharma, not as law carved by force, but as a living ethic of kindness, tolerance, and respect. He did not impose one faith. He did not tear down old social structures. Brahmins, ascetics, traders, farmers all kept their place. Instead, he sent officers not as enforcers, but as listeners and mediators. His edicts were written in multiple languages and scripts so every subject could hear the message in their own tongue. He spoke of restraint, of caring for the weak, of harmony between sections. His pillars and stupas did not threaten. They invited reflection. They carried ideas, not change. His political empire eventually fragmented, yet his moral empire never died. Buddhism rode his message across Asia, touching hearts from Sri Lanka to Japan. 2,000 years later, people still draw strength from the man who chose conscience over conquest. My friends, history has handed us a crystal clear choice. Qin Shi Huang taught us that sameness may look strong, but it is fragile. Ashoka showed us that diversity, when held by shared ethics, becomes unbreakable. One silenced differences, the other engaged them. One ruled by punishment, the other by persuasion. One feared memory, the other used it to grow wiser. Today, in our own time of division, when caste, creed, language, ideology, and religion and region pull us apart, we cannot afford to forget this lesson. Uniformity is an illusion. The world is not becoming simpler. It is becoming more gloriously complex. The real test of leadership, of nationhood, of humanity itself is not how perfectly we make everyone the same, but how courageously we hold everyone together despite our differences. And so I say to you, with all the fire in my heart, we must choose Ashoka's path. We must build a unity that does not demand erasure but celebrates presence. A unity rooted not in fear but in respect. Not in one voice but in many voices singing in harmony. Because come what may, through disagreement, through crisis, through storm and stress, we must stick together. Come what may, when old wounds reopen, when new fears arise, when the loudest voices scream for separation, we must still stick together. Come what may, when the easy road is division and the harder road is dialogue, we still must stick together. For in that unbreakable togetherness lies our true power. Not the power of the sword or the ball, but the power of a shared conscience that refuses to let go. That is the legacy worth inheriting. That is the empire worth building. Not of stone and fear, but of hearts that refuse to break apart. Let us stand today and declare, no matter what comes, we choose to stay. We choose to listen. We choose to understand. We choose to hold each other fearlessly, faithfully, forever. Thank you.